Now, I gotta be honest, I feel as if I'm beating on a dead horse here, but I do notice that this is what the market wants, this is what the audience desires, and it's more Concord videos, because I'm looking at other content creators, and a lot of you guys are interested in it, and it makes sense, because finally it's out here in the light. They just cannot deny it anymore, and the ones that are denying it, they're delusional. Like, they belong in white rooms with padded walls for their own safety and the safety of others. Look here, we got this gentleman, and he is Mr. Hermen Hulst, PlayStation's new head of worldwide studios. So what are his accomplishments? Well, unlike Xbox, where they put a person that was in charge of sales and was kept away from gaming as far away as possible, this individual apparently is actually an expert in gaming, because as you can see, he worked with Kojima. He also worked on other games like Horizon, and it's not like it's a person that doesn't understand gaming, right? And yet, this is what he said about Concord. Concord might be one of the greatest multiplayer games of the modern era. So it's not just like, well, yeah, I expect Concord to be successful, or I think that Concord will do good. No. World of Warcraft level, back when World of Warcraft was able to generate massive crowds of people that would pay Blizzard $50 to be able to stream the new trailer for the next expansion. This has the potential to overtake Horizon. I mean, it's kind of hilarious, like, if you're going to say the greatest multiplayer of the modern era, and then you use Horizon, it's kind of a low bar, isn't it? Like, Horizon isn't really that impressive, but okay. So it's going to be the most important franchise of all time. In other words, you're going to be able to spend time with your kid when he grows up, when he reaches the age of 12, according to ESRB. Yeah, like that number on the box. See, at first I thought it's the number of players that are playing the game, but no, apparently it's the ESRB rating, so it's for people 12 and up, right? Like, people who now have the mental capacity to finally understand pronouns. It's very essential to play this game. But yes, he believes that 12 years from now, you're going to be able to sit down with your kid, and you're going to play one of the most important franchises of all time, Concord, because it's such an amazing game. It's going to be a classic. And as you can see here, we have the number for other games. I'm actually disappointed that Squirrel with a Gun wasn't placed here. Again, take into account that the reason people are mocking and are laughing about this is that this game stood 8 years in development and had hundreds of millions of dollars in budget. And this is all due to the fact that the developers gaslit themselves that this is what the modern audience wants. And not only that, now that the game has finally collapsed, they're still gaslighting themselves. They flat out refuse to believe that the reason that this game failed is due to their ideology, due to their hiring practices, and due to the fact that they are completely disconnected from the market. They have absolutely no clue what the customer wants. They are making a product in the dark with no targeted demographic. They have no idea who they are making the games for. And even when you have a situation like Concord, they are still in denial. They still do not want to accept. They will blame it on the price tag. They will blame it on the fact that there's tough competition. They will blame it on literally anything. They would blame it on Santa Claus if they could. Look at this, right? Concord, 697 people playing. Immortals of Avalon, 751. Freaking Golem, a Golem, like a game that barely works, a game with eye-soaring graphics. But at least it doesn't have pronouns and body type, B-type female characters, right? So it got 758. And now we're reaching like Lawbreakers. My god, Lawbreakers was also considered hyper-woke, but I guess like people are just moving away from this ideology, man. Like it's cancerous. Like, how many other examples do you need until you get the fucking memo? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the people at the top are getting money. The CEOs, the ones that are in upper management, they are making cash over this. So for them, it's just a product. But for everyone else is the layoffs. And you have like people on Twitter going, it's like, but they're losing their jobs. Losing their jobs, why don't you care? And it's like, look, I want to care, but like they're not making a product for anyone. It's like if you create something that no one wants, it's like if I go to my bathroom to take a shit and I get an entire studio to record that, and everyone works really hard for the recording. We have like sound specialists, we have some of the best people in the field that are recording it, so you can see it in VR if you want, you can see it in 8K. Like there's a lot of work put into it. But then when I want to sell the product, no one wants to buy it. No one wants to see me take a shit. Would it be fair if I go on the forums and I cry, look how many people I need to fire now, look how hard we worked in order to get this production? It's ridiculous, isn't it? And then you gaslight yourself. No, like this is what people want. Like people want to see shit now. Like people buy shit all the time. Why aren't they buying my shit? It's at the level we're at, right? So like again, like this person who apparently is in tune with the gaming industry. How can you look at this eyesore? How can you even like glimpse at this eyesore and think it will sell? I swear to God, the first time I saw Concord, I didn't know how long was it in development. I had no idea how much money was in. I thought it's just an indie studio. It's just like shitting out the product, and it's like their first game. So they're basically testing the waters. They're trying to see, you know, with the first game, how it's going to be received, and hopefully they'll make a sequel or something. I had no clue so much money was banking on it. I was astonished. It's like, how on earth did this get past the quality control team? It's fascinating. And the journalists, they're like, wow, Wukong, horrible game. It doesn't have that rich, pure American diversity. How can it sell? Concord, excellent game, amazing. It's filled, it's oozing with that American rich diversity. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a brainlet to figure out that these types of games require eye candy to sell. Because you want people to buy the skins, you want people to identify with the characters, you want people to look at those characters with admiration. This is the same reason why Battleborn has failed. For those of you who don't remember, it was a Tumblr-esque game that came out with Overwatch. And I know many people, again, like, you're not supposed to say this. Like, they don't believe you when you say this. Even if you have the numbers and you have the likes and the retweets, they flat out refuse to believe if you say, I know people that refuse to even try Battleborn because it was an eyesore. So they went and they played with Mercy. They preferred playing Overwatch over Battleborn just because, simply, yes, literally, this is it, the aesthetics. And you have a Capcom survey that asks gamers, what is the most important thing? And the second most important thing for gamers is aesthetics. This is why people are spending more than $4,000 sometimes on a graphics card. It's the aesthetics. They're not spending $4,000 on a graphics card to see eyesores. But again, like, they flat out refuse to believe it. They will mock you for saying it. And you can show them surveys, you can show them whatever you want. Like, there is no common sense with these people. They genuinely believe, yeah, like an eyesore, something that disgusts people, that turns their head away, that's repulsive, yeah, that's going to sell. Or they try to cope and they will say, well, it's not actually repulsive. No, like, these characters are amazing. Like, what are you talking about? Body type B, female characters? That's all I'm about. You know, it's like, okay, maybe you, but there aren't that many people like you. Now, what's interesting is that the cope enthusiasm on Twitter is reaching phenomenally high levels. Some people are upset about the closure, but what I do notice is that there's more people upset about the closure than there are people playing the game. So, you know, all these people that are like, well, these individuals are now getting fired and it's bad. It's like, maybe you should have bought the fucking game then. Maybe you should have bought the fucking game rather than complaining on Twitter. I don't see a single person, not a single person, using a Twitter avatar with the face of a Concord character. Like, surely if you like the franchise so much, surely if you enjoy the game so much, you would identify with the characters. I remember when Overwatch came out, there were a lot of people with the faces of Farah and Mercy and other things on their Twitter bio, on their Twitter avatar, because that's what you get when people enjoy a product, right? It's word of mouth. You get to spread publicity about the game. None of them is doing it. None of them want to identify with any of this shit, but they want you to play it while they don't. And finally, what's also interesting is that the developers didn't even make the game free to play. Because they could have, right? And I would have loved it if they made it free to play, because all the journalists were like, oh, the price is too high. The price is too high. $40 is asking too much. Yeah, I would have loved to see how many people would have played Concord if it went free to play for a while. Would have been a very interesting thought experiment. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.